So this is my review on the Tom Cruise movie Night and Day that I don't know if people saw it or not. It's just, well, people saw it, but I don't know if people forgot about it because but this is one of the better films that I think he's done. So the film's about this man who is a rogue, supposedly a mole spy for the CIA, and he's rogue and has gone AWOL. But for some reason, because they think he's a mole, but he's not. He's just been aimed for something he didn't do. So he's rogue and gone AWOL. So he falls in love with this girl after looking at her at the airport and gets on the same plane and Savage and steals her ticket after flirting with her. And somehow, the girl's played by Cameron Diaz. So he's just using her, so he uses her by using his manly charms and his stalking powers. Because that's exactly what he did. He stalked her, then sabotaged her airport ride. So that she couldn't go see her parents, and so she can miss her sister's wedding, and her parents are dead. So somehow I would imagine the real Tom Cruise would do something like this, except worse, in a more creepier way, in a more creepy fashion, you know. Oh, and Tom Cruise is clearly having fun in this role and not take himself serious like he normally does, even in the action scenes. So, yeah, there's a lot of action, a lot of comedy in this. So, anyway, the airplane that him and the girl's on, turns out the people that tried to eliminate him by killing him, because they think he's a mole for the CIA, or the FBI, or whatever has agents on it. He's a secret agent, and so a bunch of secret agents are after to kill him, because they think he's a mole, but he's not. It's later revealed in the film that someone else is a mole. So, yeah, anyway, the plane that she's on was Tom Cruise and flirting with Tom Cruise. And so, she's a match for me, and a bunch of people are getting killed by Tom Cruise's hand because a bunch of people tried to kill Tom Cruise. And he ends up dooming both of their fates because he shot the pilot in the head by accident after killing a bunch of other people. Well, he was trying to take the gun away from this other guy. He shot the pilot, and then pilot ends up shooting the bad guy, because the pilot was also someone that was trying to kill him. So it was just one of those things, so freak accidents, and he tells the whole thing to Cameron Diaz, and seriously, having a drink with her. And she tries to land the plane, but he lands the plane, but now it's already exploding. And he drugs Cameron Diaz. Oh, he drugs Cameron Diaz a lot in the film, though, to put her to sleep. Yeah, I told you he was a stalker in this film. He plays a stalker in this film. So anyway, he says he gives Cameron Diaz a specific instruction not to just live in denial and not tell people who he is. So, which she doesn't really know who he is at all. Who doesn't know anything about him, just except other than his name. So, turns out the sister wants to sell their father's car, even though she was going to give her father's car as a wedding gift to his sister. So, because the sister's an ungrateful bitch to her father and her parents, because it costs money, not because nostalgia. What is nostalgic worse against money? So yeah, in the third act, she ends up steering to save Tom Cruise, to go to see Tom Cruise to see if see if he will come out of hiding after faking death. She thinks she has faked that she thinks he has faked his own death. And this doesn't happen until the third act, so don't expect it to happen anytime soon until the third act. So anyway, but what happens in the second act that people says that she's going to keep on saying for her protection, and that means that they're going to kill her or torture her. And Tom Cruise warned her. Tom Cruise character warned her about it, this situation. So what does he do? He ends up saving her ass and stalking her 24 hours. By stalking her 24 hours, by saving her ass. Then she says she wants to go, or she wants to be set free from Tom Cruise's stalking custody. And he says that her life is a lot less likely to live a lot less. Her life without him is more likely to get killed without him. And he does this whole thing, with me, without me, with me, without me. And it's kind of funny how he delivers the line. Very funny, actually, how he delivers the line. And, so because she said she felt less safe with him than with the other people that were supposedly going to kill him. And kill her, I mean, that Tom murdered. So I love how Tom Cruise plays regular classic Tom Cruise. He plays a delusional nut that thinks he's still young. So, Tom Cruise is better playing delusional nuts than he is at playing, actual action heroes. Like in the Mission Impossible movies, except for Mission Impossible 3, because that's the only time they actually humanize Ethan Hunt. So, yeah, so anyway, we see more of Cameron Diaz's character on screen than Tom Cruise's character on screen, and, Cameron Diaz ends up feeling nostalgic for Tom Cruise, you know, that she loves him, and then ends up stealing the father's car that she was going to give her sister as a wedding gift, who her sister was going to, well, actually, no, that doesn't happen until the third. So anyway, that doesn't happen until the third act. Anyway, she's, caught on, she ends up getting in trouble with, people trying to kill Tom again, and Tom Cruise has to save her, once again. Then he drugs her because she wasn't being relaxed, by lying to her of by not telling her the thing. Yes, so he literally drugs her to put her to sleep, and no wait, that's not what he does. Yeah, that's what he does. And keeps on drugging her every time she wakes up, and it pops to random location to more concerning life, death, rest situations, random location. And then the end of an island, and she somehow got a bikini. Turns out he put her in that bikini, and they're off the grid. Then she made a call which let people detect the location, because Cameron Diaz doesn't think in this film, and she uses up one of Tom Cruise's bimbo sluts. I just realized that. But other than that, she is a likable character, even though she has no brains, because that's her character. She plays a more bimbo, a bigger bimbo than she did in the Charlie's Angels movies, unfortunately, Sally. But not nearly a horrible person that she did played in Bad Teacher. So Tom Cruise puts her to sleep again, but not drug her. He doesn't drug her this time. He uses this technique by pinching her shoulder to put her to sleep. And he tells her what she's doing because, well, she was told not to drug her. And the next thing you know, they're in Paris, and she's slowly falling in love with Tom Cruise by committing all these very concerning actions that land heavily into stalker territory somehow. But you do buy into the romanticness somehow. It's really, really good acting between Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz. Despite the very disturbing, creepy writing. But yes, look, I'm just taking my blessings where I can get them with Tom Cruise, good Tom Cruise films, even though they're not perfect, because Tom Cruise doesn't really make well-written characters anymore, very rarely, or characters that feel human. This isn't a well-written character, but it feels at least like a human character. So, but ain't because of the soul stalker actions that he does commits throughout the film, so this black girl who used to be Tom Cruise's boss, and now hunting him, explains that she's the reason explains that he on purposely stole her ticket in the first act, and that he's a bit of pathological liar. And then she slowly starts to not trust Tom Cruise, but that wasn't the kicker. Then she sees Tom Cruise with another woman on a date, supposedly. Turns out it's not a date, it's just one of those, him negotiating with, guy who is, well, a bad guy, and he's trying to negotiate with him because this girl's wearing an earpiece while he's negotiating with this person. So she misunderstood and ends up backstabbing Tom Cruise. And Tom Cruise saw the betrayal coming, but this hurt more than he thought it was going to hurt. So he ends up running and faking his death, and while she goes on living her happily normal life, well, it's a normal life, but it's not happy because she doesn't have Tom Cruise, the stalker, Tom Cruise. She goes to Tom Cruise's folks' house and turns out he was telling the truth about some of his past was the truth, that he was really a scoutboy, but he faked his own death to protect his parents, so that they were he can hold his breath. It turns out one of the scout medals says he holds the record for holding his breath long underwater for a really long time. So they assume that the people who after him assume that he drowned, and so the bad guys assume that he drowned and is dead. Because he never came out of the water. So, yeah, so they stop looking for him. Then the girl, who is Cameron Diaz, says that she knows that Tom's alive, and fakes his death, and she gets kidnapped by the bad guys, only to get truth serum and kidnapping gets injected with truth serum, and says that what she said on the phone was absolute bullshit, and she just did this so she could see Tom again while he's trying to help this kid who is a bit of a genius and made this invention, this battery that's getting hot and keeps getting hotter. Then he figures out that it's about to explode, a bit of a nuclear bomb because it's unstable. So, after he saves Cameron Diaz in a very creative climax and kisses her on the face, and she's just saying all this stuff that she says she feels like having sex with him and stuff, and he figures out that she's drugged again. So it gets even more funny. So during the climax, it gets more funny. After that climax, a helicopter explodes with the mole inside, and they find out that Tom Cruise is not the mole, but they still want to kill him because he committed other illegal things. So he committed other crimes that wasn't involved being a mole. So he doesn't, he just gets some rest. And for tomorrow, and his boss says that they're going to put you in witness protection for your protection, and that means they're going to torture him or kill him. So he's shocked that oh crap, he realizes that he's screwed. Then Cameron Diaz bails him out of the hospital by drugging him with the same drug that she drugged him that he drugged her with in the film. And she keeps on drugging him and puts him in different clothing and they're on beach, and she does this whole thing that Tom Cruise did. Your life is more higher chance to survive with me than without me. With me, without me. And then Tom Cruise says it back, with you, without you. So they all run off in the sunset, night is night and day. It's a very bit of a silly, yet kind of fucked up film and goofy film. But it's fun to watch, and I highly recommend it. And I say you go watch this film, and I give it a 10 out of 10 for making me fall in love with these characters and make me laugh. Even though Tom Cruise plays a huge stalker, and he gets the stalker terror constantly throughout the 3-act structure of the film. But I still give it a 10 out of 10 because it made me laugh, and I enjoy the film that much I can easily forgive the flaws. Bye.